Please excuse the stuttering in some of this. I recorded this entire f***ing script in one take. Hello, Inércia. Today, I'd like to talk about something that you guys here at Inércia probably have no idea what the f*** it is. It's called the Weather Star. Now, if you're American, you probably remember the Weather Channel and its local forecasts. These local forecasts were generated by a thingy called the Weather Star. The Weather Star is a rack-mount computer used by the Weather Channel to generate local forecasts. These units will be installed at cable head-ends across the United States, with some being used by Media and the Weather Network in Canada, and others used in Latin America. STAR stands for Satellite Transponder Addressable Receiver. The purpose of Weather Star machines is to receive weather data, including weather alerts, almanac, and distribute the latest weather information for your city or town you're in through the Weather Channel's live television feed. All weather data was received from National Weather Service offices across the United States until 2002, when the Weather Channel started to produce forecasts in-house. Early Weather Star units displayed all information in text only on a blue background. The first Weather Star, known as the Weather Star 1, was released upon the Weather Channel's launch on May 2nd, 1982. At the time, not many cable head-ends had one installed, so no local forecasts were generated. It was developed by CompuVid. The first Weather Star was known to have issues regarding emanated RF signal interference and caused problems at cable head-ends where it was installed, and would often suffer from text jamming and garbling issues. The successor to the Weather Star 1, named the Weather Star 2, was released 2 years later in 1984. It was essentially just a re-release of the original Weather Star 1, but with improved RF shielding. Yeah, not much done there. On June 29, 1986, when the Weather Channel relaunched as the New Weather Channel, the successor to the Weather Star 2, named the Weather Star 3 and later called the Weather Star 3000, was introduced as a major update to the Weather Star 1 and 2, developed by TechScan MSI and Wagoner Communications. It was the first to allow the use of static images as backgrounds instead of a solid blue color, but it could still do that blue color. It introduced more weather information slides such as the Almanac, Travel Cities Forecast, Extended Forecast, and 30-Day Outlook. These units will be in service until December 31st, 2004, when the Weather Channel had to decommission them due to a waiver granted by the FCC in 2001 that meant scrolled and crawled emergency information needed audible warning tones to accompany them. This was resolved with the Weather Star Audio Weather Alert Enhancement released in 2002. The Weather Star 3000 was also used in Canada by Media and the Weather Network from 1989 to 1992. In February 1990, the Weather Channel released yet another Weather Star machine, named the Weather Star 4000. This was the first unit to display graphics and was designed and manufactured by Applied Microelectronics Institute, now Amerix. The first of the 4000 machines operated in a text-only mode like its predecessors, but with an improved font and a static image of a radar segment at the end of every local forecast statement. Later that year, in June, the Weather Star 4000 got an update that made graphics to be displayed through the entire local forecast segment. These graphics were a blue and orange color scheme and the first to show the Weather Channel's logo. Also, the date and time were moved up to the top right of the screen. Later, in 1994, the Weather Channel introduced the Weather Star Junior, a budget-friendly Weather Star machine for cable companies that didn't have the funds to rent the more advanced models. This model was also developed by Wagoner Communications. It was similar to the Weather Star 3, displaying only text, but on a purple background this time. It didn't have the inbuilt ability to generate alert tones like the Weather Star 4000 could. And of course, the Weather Star Audio Weather Alert Enhancement released in 2002 solved this issue. In 1999, another Weather Star machine was released and was the most expensive by far. The Weather Star XL was based upon the Silicon Graphics O2 computer, which was originally a workstation meant for multimedia work, and it cost $6,500 to rent. It was a huge jump in graphics with the capability of displaying millions of colors, photos, anti-alias fonts, and animation sequences for the backgrounds. It also introduced audible narrations, introducing the various forecast segments called Vocal Local. The Weather Star XL would also be used for the Weather Channel's sister network, WeatherScan. It was a version of the XL that ran on a separate cable TV channel 24/7 with different software than what was used for the local forecast segments on the main network. WeatherScan was available in Latin America for a short period of time until 2002. In 2003, the Weather Channel dropped the WeatherStar name with the release of the IntelliStar 1, which ran FreeBSD and made use of Intel's Pentium 4 processor. It was initially used for WeatherScan as an upgrade from the original WeatherScan ran by the WeatherStar XL. The vocal local narrations were also improved significantly. The Weather Channel began using the IntelliStar 1 for local forecasts, which were called, and still are called, local on the 8s, which were displayed on the 8th, 18th, 28th, 38th, 48th, and 58th minutes of every hour in 2004. But nowadays, local on the 8s are displayed on the 18th and 48th minutes of every hour. When the Weather Channel was preparing a switch to HD in 2007 and 2008, the IntelliStar 2 was introduced and was the first WeatherStar machine to run in HD. It utilized an Intel Core i7-930, 3GB of DDR3 RAM, an EVGA GTX 470, and Windows XP Embedded Standard. However, the IntelliStar 2 wasn't released until July 2010. The IntelliStar 2 is currently the oldest machine in the WeatherStar line that is still in use, but it may soon be decommissioned. No official date was announced yet, but the Weather Channel's transition to MPEG-4 video encoding will be incompatible with the IntelliStar 2 on a hardware level. The latest machines in the WeatherStar line are the IntelliStar 2 Junior, which can only do SD video feeds, and the IntelliStar 2 XD, the current HD WeatherStar model that is also capable of doing letterbox 16:9 SD video feeds. They were released in 2013 and 2014, respectively. And that's it. All of this data I received. This is from Wikipedia, the Weather Channel archive at twcarchive.com, and the images came from Google Images, TWC Archive, and Pinterest. Videos are from TWC Classics at twcclassics.com and from YouTube. This video was made for the Inércia 2025 Wild Compo, and thanks for watching.